Thank you so much for joining us today, everybody. I have James Alba with us. We are at the B Hive Organic Salon. I want to go ahead and thank you so much for having us. I know this is our second run at it.
I love it. Thanks so much.
Yeah, no problem. So I know one of the things that we spoke about last time was really knowing what it took to be a green hair salon. And I know that you have kind of gone through the transition with the different products and services that you offer in your business. One of the ingredients that's listed as an allergy that I noticed when I did a little bit of research was nickel. So I've read a ton of surveys too that kind of explain how nickel is in 7 out of 13 different scissors. So I'm finding that it might be a little bit difficult for businesses to kind of fit into this specific, kind of criteria. What do you guys do? What is that all about? Like, what are the different products? How do you convey that to your clients? How do you let them know these are the things and these are the different criteria that we need to fit?
So one of the things that really is a challenge, first and foremost, is that your vendors have to be open with you about what their ingredients are. So whatever it says on that little label doesn't always mean that's exactly what's in there, or the process, the manufacturing process that goes along with it. Perfect example is perfume, right? Perfume was created in France, or the French will tell you that they created perfume, but it was proprietary information. They didn't want to, how much vetiver, how much rose was in there. That was sort of the concoction that they made, so they never wanted you to know. It was top secret, right? Chanel number 5, you will never know what's in Chanel number 5, okay? Yep. Good, bad, or otherwise. Mm-hmm. So you need these vendors and the people you work with, your distributors, to be open-minded in terms of what you're going to do and what is in there. So our staff in particular, we have more than one person that had contact dermatitis. We have people with respiratory issues that have found us because we consider ourselves a clean air salon. That kind of follows through with our eco practices all the way through to the products that we use. But you're asking about nickel alone. We use Hikari shears here. One of the reasons we do is they don't have nickel, especially in the handle. Sometime in the forging of the steel, there are other metals that may come up, but there's definitely none in the handle. But Hikari also was willing to give us that information. So I don't know how many scissor manufacturers out there are going to say, hey, here's the composite makeup of how we forge the steel for these scissors. So the importance of them being able to give us that information helped us, that makes it paramount.
So I'm assuming too that you educate your staff on all of these things as well, right?
We do. Staff education is always an interesting thing. We have a fantastic staff. They're always open and understanding, but sometimes when you're under the knife or under the scissor with your clients, whether it has farm grade ingredients or beeswax in a product, it may not be to the forefront. So when we talk a little bit about what's important to us as a staff, technical expertise and education definitely play into that. But you hope that some of that resonates with the clients.
That's awesome. Education is something that we preach a lot at Millennium. So one of the things that I've actually noticed in the salons themselves is there's always continued education. And I think that being that you guys are an organic salon, I'm kind of curious too. So I'm going to kind of pick your brain and your wife's brain a little bit later to kind of figure out what that education process is like. Because I'd, love to put that into our program as well. I think that'd be great. One of the things though that I did when I researched was I noticed that predominantly, and you were talking about it a little bit before about the different harsh chemicals. One thing that I noticed is that hair color, I'm not from the hair world, right? I'm from the spa world, so I'm all about the relaxation, right? But one of the things that I noticed is that a lot of hair color has a lot of harsh chemicals. So how do you guys introduce that, being that you are this organic, natural, in this case now, right, clean air salon? How do you make sure that you don't have, one, the harsh chemicals, but also that people are still able to maintain the same level of color, right? I've read that some of it also comes with some dull color, and I know that that might be something that might be concerning to a client. But how do you tackle that? Where do you start?
So for us, typically, the starting point, I guess, the easiest way is that you have to look at what the ingredients are of the particular companies you're working with, especially hair color. Mm-hmm. So you want the hair color to be professional, which means it has to have pigments. In our particular case, clients seek us out whether they've been in treatment for different ailments such as cancer, whether they're on certain types of medication, whether they have respiratory-based issues or they have allergies. So we never knew an opening that we would sort of be this genius bar, I guess, of a hair salon in terms of allergies and things like that. Mm-hmm. And those are some of the things that hairstylists overall need to understand that people are getting more and more allergies now. Just, it's the nature of the beast, I guess, in the environment that we live in. So regardless of what product lines you use, you have to be open to understand. If you see melanoma, right, mark the spot. Is that what the X marks the spot?
Yep.
You have a bunch of these things that are out there because hairstylists, not only you have that vantage point that sometimes doctors don't have, you see that client every 6 weeks. So you're gonna be the one to say, wow, I saw this thing on your scalp that wasn't there. So sometimes the ingredients aren't, the health factor of the ingredients are one thing, but it's actually that access to the client that's a completely different thing. Our hair color line does contain pigment, even though it does have organic ingredients, and that's what makes it a professional color line.
So how do you find that you overcome explaining to clients in the chair? Because one of the things that I noticed right away was that if I go and I get my hair dyed, right now, I know this is gonna sound awful, but I dye my hair out of a box.
Woof.
It's what works for me. But you know, I smell up the entire
If I had a mic on, I would take it off and I would storm off the set right now.
My entire, you know, space is completely smelling, right? But I always see that it turns out as black as night, and that's what I want. So one of the things that would be concerning to me is, you know, making sure that I'm able to maintain that level of color or that vibrant color. How do you explain to clients that sit in the chair that it is exactly the same thing that you're gonna get when you go somewhere else? Because that was automatically my thing was, is it gonna be like that ashy black that, you know, I got from one box that I absolutely hate?
Yeah, that's a great question. We have a stylist that started with us, had been in the industry for a while, had taken a step out because she had a couple of children and wanted to get back into the business, and her clientele, they are not organic eco at all. They just want results. They want to come in. She has a lot of 4-week clients that have a lot of gray, so gray coverage is definitely what they're all about. And the transition to get them to understand that this is the same thing. The process may be a little bit different, but it is professional hair color. It's gonna work exactly the way that you think it's gonna work. It's healthier in terms of the pH. It's a lot different and operates a lot different than other hair color in terms of the hair composition. So it keeps your hair healthier overall. So it's not just the ingredients that are in it, it's the process that goes along with it.
I think I'm gonna need this in my life.
I think you do.
Maybe my hair won't feel as crunchy.
Yes, crunchy is not good.
Perfect. So I know that I personally learned a lot, and I will not be using box dye anymore.
Thank you.
You're welcome. But I want to go ahead and thank all of you guys for watching. Make sure to go ahead and comment and like at the very bottom. Make sure that you go ahead and subscribe and turn on the bell as well so you know what's going on. Do not forget to go ahead and follow James at B Hive Organic, and that's B with a B, right? And we look forward to seeing you guys next time. See you soon.